Up next on Live It Up, I have Esther Fortunoff. Yes, of that family, the Fortunoffs. The beautiful jewelry that I've been wearing lately on the show has been coming from her location, and I am so delighted that she's here. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm great.
Oh my goodness. So it's funny when I have someone on that's from a family that is so renowned and so well known because it's almost impossible, I think, for you to understand that you grew up in a brand, right?
Yes.
So growing up as a Fortunoff, your childhood, you live in your grandparents' home. What was it like growing up like that? And at what moment did you realize that being a Fortunoff meant something?
Well, when I first was growing up, it was in Brooklyn, and
Okay.
in order to just hang out with my family, see my parents and grandparents, I actually had to go to the store. So I was sort of in the moment, not feeling like it was anything special. It was just like what you had to do to hang out with your family. Only later, when we moved to Long Island, and probably when I was in high school, people in high school started to hear on Long Island about the name and would, come up with different ways to tease me about it.
And then you knew.
Yeah.
So the first store location that they had, it's a family-run business. It was there. How did that start? How did they decide to do the different things that they had?
My grandparents started really with a push cart in Brooklyn, and it was 1922, and all the immigrant families needed to get started with something in their homes. So it was pots and pans.
Okay.
Everybody needs pots and pans, and it grew from there to other things, basically for the kitchen or for the bathroom, other things for the home. And then by 1955, let's say, they started to expand into home decorating. And then my mother married into the family and started the jewelry business.
And that is now your store.
Yes.
Yes. So you've reopened Fortunoff's Fine Jewelry, and you have the location right there on Old Country Road. And but what I noticed about the store when I went in is that you have the beautiful murals from 1970s that were in the Fifth Avenue location.
Right. Those murals were actually commissioned by from Giancarlo Impilia, who did them in the style of the 20s when we started. And those murals were one long mural in Fifth Avenue on the mezzanine. And now they grace the walls in my store. So they surround us with that energy.
And one of the things I like about your store too, and that you educated me about, is that the way that you have it displayed is that you tell stories. You were telling me it's a color story, a color palette, right? Now, how did you come up with that, and how do you merchandise your store in that way?
Well, you want to put together looks that a woman could kind of buy and wear together. And so the reason we do the color stories is people are attracted to different colors. They sometimes people only want to, wear a certain kind of color, and so this would be a whole accessories sort of story that they could wear. The other thing is that some of them are stories because they're designers' collections, and I
Okay.
like to work with women designers especially. And a lot of the women designers do have stories behind them of what inspired them or where their product is made, or a lot of them are the makers themselves.
One of the things that I featured on the show that I wore was the tree of life,
Right.
right? And that's one such designer that we were talking
Yes.
about.
Yeah, Cynthia
Okay.
Gale.
Okay.
Yeah, she is inspired often by different museums and then has her collections made in Bali. And usually there's a part of it that's given back to the museum or some other organization.
And I know you're very philanthropic. The other night I was the MC for Big Brothers and Big Sisters, so you were working there. The Garden City Chamber, you worked with them. Why? Why do you give back? What is your
Well,
joy in that?
I just feel like we've been so blessed, truly, to live in this country and to be able to have things. And so I just want to be helping other people who can't or who didn't have the kind of start that I had. And I really find that a lot of women want to do good. And so I'm involved with a lot of women's organizations like the Safe Center of Nassau County, which is the former Coalition Against Domestic Violence merged with the child abuse organization, so that it's it's helping people, but helping women and families so they can, go on to have wonderful, different kind of lives.
You know, I've never been a person that knows like what looks good on me. So I thank you very much because I came in and you kind of helped me style. And I know that you do that with all of your clients.
Yes, well, we look at the way a woman likes to wear her hair and what kind of clothes she's wearing. And there really is a right and a wrong a little bit on the type of earring or the necklace length. And so it was my pleasure to do it with you.
Thank you.
We also like to do it with men who are shopping for a special woman in their life and kind of don't know what maybe would be appropriate.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. And I know that people can go to your website because you will help people all over the world.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
fortunoffjewelry.com.
Okay.
And there's someone, a normal person sitting who will answer the phone and talk to you, not,
Right.
a machine. And we actually give phone appointments too.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure to have Esther Fortunoff here from Fortunoff's Fine Jewelry. Stay tuned for more on Live It Up.